OK, so well done to Lara and to Tip. A short break for us now.
With Pa Cronin suspended, Cork manager Dennis Walsh recalls former All-Star Ronan Curran to the starting 15, and he will wear the centre-back jersey, flanked by John Gardner and team captain Shane O'Neill. That decision means William Egan is transferred to centre field to join Jerry O'Connor. The Leesiders' scoring threat will come from the full forward line of Luke O'Farrell, Paddy O'Sullivan and Pat Horgan, who between them have scored 8 goals and 23 points in their last 2 matches. Galway scored 425 last week against Clare, so it's not surprising that the same team that started against the Banner County gets the all clear again. Shane Kavanagh and Tony O'Gregan man the central defensive positions, with Andy Smith and David Burke at centre field. Just like Cork, Galway's strongest line is their inside trio of Damien Hayes, Joe Canning and Alan Kearns. James McGrath from the county of Westmeath is the man in charge. It's a battle, do or die. Whoever loses is out of the Championship 2011. Whoever wins qualifies for the quarter-final. Not a good clearance by the goalkeeper. An easy ball for the full forward, Paddy O'Sullivan, and it's a gift from Galway. Incredible. What an amazing start for Cork. James Skehill was careless to say the least, and O'Sullivan easily found the back of the net. Puck out from Donald Cusick, straight to John Gardner. To a full forward line that's already growing in confidence. Here's Paddy O'Sullivan again. A goal and a point in the space of 2 minutes by the Cork full forward puts the Rebels on a very upward curve towards the quarter-final. Good half block by Jerry O'Connor. Hurley is split in 2. There's Ronan Curran. And you'd have to say that Cork are playing with confidence and with a lot of ease. Luke O'Farrell into the centre. There's Keane McCarthy. Good block down by Tony O'Gregan. Donald Barry chasing, and Harrison gets a little touch. Pulls back out. There's Luke O'Farrell. Brilliant block down by David Collins. Seemed to come off his helmet and his head. Back outside, there's William Egan. Good calling, good vision. There's Paddy O'Sullivan. Going for 1-2 in the space of 6 minutes. It's Paddy O'Sullivan from Galway. All set up by wonderful teamwork by Cork. Quality finish by O'Sullivan. Damien Hayes operating in a left half forward position. Irla Tanyan, who should be at left half forward, turns around, shoots. The umpire is not going for his flag. Wide ball. 4 wides for Galway. And we've only played 7 minutes. 4 scoring chances for the tribesmen. 4 opportunities wasted. Nicely knocked back by Niall McCarthy. Shane O'Neill along the surface, sending it low towards Ben O'Connor. Under pressure from Adrian Cullinan, but he gets it past Paddy O'Sullivan. More trouble for Galway. Wisely taking his point. A goal and 3 points for Paddy O'Sullivan, and Galway have a serious problem in the full back line, and particularly Shane Kavanagh. Joe Canning has to come out around midfield to gather possession. Wonderful play by Gardner. Comes straight, however, to Andy Smith. And Andy Smith is going to register Galway's first score after almost 11 minutes of play. And remember, Galway are playing with the breeze in the first half. There's nothing new in Cork's strategy, and Donald Cusick can find John Gardner with ease. Galway would want to come on a little bit. Ball comes down for Niall McCarthy. Ball is wide. That's Cork's first wide of the game. touched on. Favours Galway and Damien Hayes. Ger Farragher thought about taking it. Hayes to Canning. And Galway are at last beginning to find their rhythm. Good understanding between the Portumna lads. Coming from midfield is Jerry O'Connor. Steps inside, lays it back for his Cian. There was almost a block down, but there wasn't by Andy Smith. And Cian McCarthy puts his name on the score sheet for the first time. Good creativity by Cork, good finish by the centre half forward. Long ball. Works out fine for Joe Gantley. Here's Gantley taking his point. He's a strong physical player. Played really well against Dublin, one of the few, scoring a goal and 3 points. And here's his first in this qualifier. Coming from midfield is Andy Smith. The handling by Galway, not impressive in this opening half. But the striking by Andy Smith more than makes up for it. Interestingly, the Galway midfielder has now scored twice. Owen Cadigan is masterful at full back to Ronan Curran. Got away, Owen Cadigan, with dropping the hurl. Comes all the way up first, Patrick Horgan, who on the turn sends it straight between the posts for the Glen Rovers man first score in this qualifier. Lovely skill by Pat Horgan. He really has been outstanding right through the qualifiers. But Galway will protest at what happened down here. Now, did Owen Cadigan drop the hurl? Looked like he did. Free for Galway. Joe Canning going to take this one again. That gives you an idea of the angle, the distance. Here comes the shot. Never flinched on this occasion. Wonderful fielding here by left half back Adrian Culnall. Donald Cusick keeps spraying these puck outs to colleagues every single time. What Stephen Cluxton is doing in football for Dublin, certainly Donald Cusick can do it for the Cork Hurlers. Knocked away this time by Brian Murphy. Not an easy ball to control for William Egan, or indeed for Jerry O'Connor. Ger Farragher along the sideline, gets by the initial challenges. Irla Tanyan, a little bit of vision from Tanyan creates the opportunity. Lovely play, Galway. Alan Kearns inside, that has to be a penalty. As Stephen McDonald brought down Alan Kearns. It was a sweet ball inside for David Burke. Yellow card for the cornerback. Wonderful play here by David Burke. Alan Kearns inside unmarked. Incoming Cork cornerback Stephen McDonald unquestionably fouled him. That had to be a penalty. A crucial moment in the first half. Joe Canning blasts it and it's saved. And out for a 65. And no wonder Donald Cusick gives a slap in the backside to Owen Cadigan. Beautiful ball inside from David Burke. Alan Kearns brought down unceremoniously by Stephen McDonald. Here's the penalty subsequently by Joe Canning and brilliantly stopped by Owen Cadigan. between the early goal after 14 seconds by Paddy O'Sullivan, the penalty save by Cork and Owen Cadigan after 24 minutes. And perhaps all Galway get now is a point from a 65. Canning floats it straight over the crossbar. Galway 6 points, Cork 1-5. Shane O'Neill under pressure. Ball inside from Joe Canning. Nice turn by Damien Hayes. And that is going over the crossbar. It's the first time that Donald Cusack's puckouts didn't work. No fault to the keeper. Shane O'Neill's first touch was disappointing. It resulted in Galway scoring a point off the stick of this man, Damien Hayes. Despite the penalty miss, there's only 1 point between the teams. Sideline ball for Cork. Shane O'Neill, blocked by Joe Canning. Sent back quickly. 2 against 2 up here. Owen Cadigan and Joe Gantley. Cadigan gets it just out a little bit. Nice pull in the air. Ball down towards Pat Horgan. Horgan did really well. And the ball is going straight between the posts. Ball inside. Horgan did really well, didn't he? He won the dirty ball, scored a lovely point. John Gardner. Slither slips through to Ger Farraher. Difficult angle. And that will do his confidence the world of good. Outstanding against Clare last week when he scored a goal and 4 points. Won the Man of the Match award as well. And that's his first point today. Jerry O'Connor gets there ahead of Joe Canning. The O'Connor twins supporting each other. Ben, back to Jerry. Being chased by Andy Smith. Pumped into the space for Niall McCarthy to run onto. He's confident from there. The Cork supporters are even more confident. And that's a wonderful score by Niall McCarthy. But the teamwork out of the Leesiders is so impressive. Full credit to the O'Connor twins and to Niall McCarthy. Damien Hayes has to come out around his own half-back line now. Good crossfield ball over far as Adrian Culnan. Joe Canning. Power and accuracy. 4 points for Joe Canning. His second from play. Damien Hayes, Adrian Culnan, and ultimately Joe Canning. Joe Canning has now gone back to the edge of the square. Sends this in, and that is going over the bar. Tactical switch sees Joe Canning back at the edge of the square instead of Joe Gantley, and already it's paying dividends. The sides are level in Park Nagale for the very first time. Joe Gantley, back at wing forward, anticipated the run from Damien Hayes. This will be some score. Brilliant play by Galway. Great finish by Damien Hayes, but credit Joe Gantley with the vision of putting the ball into the space for Hayes to run onto. Andy Smith. Erla Tanya. Sends it goal bound towards Joe Canning. It runs on for Damien Hayes. It's 1 against 1. Almost brought down by Donald Cusick. It's a simple tap in, but the referee has blown his whistle. He's showing a yellow card to the keeper, and he's allowing the goal. Excellent play by Damien Hayes. Donald Cusick attempted to bring the corner forward down, failed to do so. It was a simple tap in ultimately for the Portumna man, and it also means a yellow card for the Cork goalkeeper. Second half is underway. A crowd of 18,900 thoroughly enjoying the sunshine and also a really good game of hurling. Cork playing with a slight wind to their backs in the second half. John Gardner to Ronan Curran. And they have to start feeding the ball down towards Paddy O'Sullivan, who seemed to have the beating of the Galway full back line in the early stages. Ger Farragher, right at the start of the second half, gets his second point. Far better start to the second half by the tribesmen. Good ball, Faris Farragher, and he made no mistake. It's a great catch. Niall McCarthy. That's a really good score by Niall McCarthy from Carricktual. Has been scoring consistently. 3 points against Tipperary, 3 against Laois, and he scored 2 now against Galway. And Cork counter-attack up towards Pat Horgan. Nice stick work by Horgan, trying to get inside the cover, brought to ground by Fergal Moore, and that's going to be a free in and possibly stern action by the referee, but he's not doing it. Now he's taken out the book. Let's just watch it here. Nice control by Pat Horgan, and this was a pull down by Fergal Moore. Beautiful hook here by Ben O'Connor and Andy Smith, by the way. And the referee is consistent. He's shown a yellow card to Fergal Moore. You may recall Stephen McDonnell brought down Alan Kearns in the first half for that Galway penalty. And Patrick Horgan takes the point. Cork remain in contention. 4 points between the teams, 113 to 19. Good puck out again by James Scahill. Well gathered by Joe Gantling. Canning. Was he fouled? Well, I tell you one person who thinks he was, the man in charge, James McGrath. Here it comes, Owen Cadigan going for the ball with Canning. There seemed to be a little push. Continues to argue with the referee, but he's made up his mind, and that's it. It's a free for Galway. Dead straight in front of the posts. And the only man on the goal line, by the way, is Donal Cusick. Joe Canning takes his point. That's his 7th point of the match. Over fires William Egan. David Burke gets the challenge in and gets the last touch. Sideline ball for the Leesiders. Cork, remember, playing in the second half with a very slight breeze to their backs, but also with the sunshine behind them. As this ball comes in to Cian McCarthy, and that is going straight between the posts for his 2nd point of the match. Well anticipated by Ronan Curran. Gets there ahead of Joe Canning. Gets in his clearance. Down first Cian McCarthy. Floats one in again. More than floats. Puts it straight between the posts for his hat-trick of points. It's a brilliant score by the centre half forward from the Sarsfields club. And Cork are chasing after Galway here. Alan Kearns flicks it in for Ger Farragher. Coming through the middle, it's David Burke. Ben O'Connor was coming in to challenge. Bats it off. There's Ger Farraher. Scoring opportunity. Taken by the centre half forward. And that's his third point of the game. Wonderful play by Galway, it must be said. Good teamwork. Good vision. Fine accuracy. This was the ball in from Alan Kearns. Ger Farraher, David Burke knew he was going to be hooked here by Ben O'Connor. Nice layoff by Burke. Farraher continued on his run and took his chance. Chance here for Niall McCarthy. He miscues, rather surprisingly. So Cathal Naughton, number 21, he's on for Shane O'Neill, number 7. Loose ball picked up by Andy Smith. Chased after Cathal Naughton. Down towards Joe Canning. John Gardner. Clearly Owen Cadigan was fouled by the full forward, and there's a follow-on between Cadigan and Joe Canning, and really the referee should have blown his whistle earlier. And while the play continues on, Galway have scored a point off Irlatanyan. Wonderful score by the Galway left half forward. And while all that was happening, Owen Cadigan and Joe Canning were having a right go at each other. Started here, seemed to be a clear foul on Owen Cadigan. Certainly, in my opinion, the referee should have given a free to the Cork full-back. Down fires David Burke, flicked away, over fires Andy Smith, pulls in her first time, comes to Niall McCarthy, decides to lob this one in. Paddy O'Sullivan is there. Oh, that's a lovely piece of work! Oh, brilliantly stopped. Comes back first, Patrick Horgan. O'Sullivan is hovering. There's a high challenge on Horgan, and that's going to be a free in. Seemed to be blocked by David Collins. Watch Paddy O'Sullivan. Little flick on, gathered it, and let go with a rocket. And a wonderful save by David Collins. Outstanding cornerback play. He dived, and he blocked. Now, what will Pat Horgan do here? Takes his point. That's his 4th of the match and his 2nd from a free. Cork continue to chase. 4 points between the teams, as it has been for some time. James Cahill finds Adrian Cullinane. Well taken by Irlatanyan. Lovely crossfield ball to Joe Gantley. Great running by David Burke. This could be one of the scores of the match. Tanyan, Gantley, Burke. Names that could well be familiar nationwide by the time the summer ends. And away come Cork. Ben O'Connor lays it off into the middle. Sent forward by Jerry O'Connor, the twin, to Paddy O'Sullivan. Shane Kavanagh, happy to get it out over the end line, doesn't reach it. Galway under pressure, David Collins. Tony O'Gregan is to his left, and away comes Collins. Rock solid as always. Outstanding at 4. Alan Kearns to Ger Farraher. Floating one in. It's straight and true over the black spot. Ger Farraher gets his 4th point of the match. Beautiful striker of the ball. Good finish. David Burke gets the pass inside to Tony O'Gregan. Nice ball inside fires Joe Gantley. Crossfield ball is aimed at one man, Damien Hayes. Alan Kearns has gone inside, but Hayes takes the point. But really, Damien Hayes should have passed it to Alan Kearns. And Galway could have booked their ticket for the quarter-final.
We're actually more by the goal has been lost between the Leeds area and the
kick out comes straight to John Gardner. Into the space. To a man who is certainly posing problems for Galway when he gets the ball. Nice ball inside. As far as Bill Cooper. And that's a good score. Tony O'Sullivan is the potential match winner for Cork, but they need to supply him with the ball. 6 points between the teams. Not a good option to try and get it as far as Jeff Farragher, who has the slither eventually in his hand. David Collins wisely goes for distance, keep the pressure off. That's a beautiful catch by Canning, and the pull by William Egan is blown up by the referee. It's a powerful goal by Joe Canning, but I heard the referees whistle myself up here. And Joe Canning is despondent and annoyed. No advantage given. He showed a fresh pair of heels to the Cork midfielder William Egan. Here comes the pull. Joe Canning continued. The referee should have allowed it to go on. It rattled the back of the net, and sheer frustration around the ground, but particularly if you happen to be from Galway. Referees in the game of hurling now going to be in the spotlight as a result of this decision by James McGrath. It was a pull by William Egan, no question whatsoever, but Joe Canning was gone clearly through, and perhaps the advantage, which I know is not in the rule book, should have been at least allowed on this occasion. Joe Canning takes the point for his 8th point in the game. This time Donald Cusick goes for distance. Well caught by Cyril Donlan. Just introduced, and he steps away from the challenge. Stephen McDonald chasing after him. Cyril Donlan still. What about that for a goal? What about that for a substitute? Galway surely are on their way to the All-Ireland quarter-final 2011. Donlan, magnificent here, getting away from the challenge from the Glen Rovers man. Wonderful stick work, and what about that? For a fantastic finish to be the keeper, the quality that Donald Cusick really is. James Cahill off his goal line. Sees David Burke available. As Galway continue to attack, and here's that man again, Cyril Donlan. Unselfishly lays it off. Far as Joe Canning, and that is flicked over the crossbar. 9 points for Joe Canning this afternoon. He scored 1-9 against Clare. Not bad over a 2-week period. Bill Cooper. Half blocked. Dipping in is Lorcan McLaughlin. Galway now, full of confidence. Joe Canning tries to knock it down, and then follows it up with a magnificent point. Just watch this. Knew he wouldn't win it because his hand was being held by Cadigan. Knocked it forward and then followed it up with a brilliant point. Ben O'Connor trying to lay it off as quickly as possible. This is Conor Lahan, and that is straight over the bar. They reckon in Cork this is a very special talent. Just did his leaving cert a few weeks ago, 18 years of age. Down towards Cyril Donlan, runs on for Galway attack that has blossomed in this second half. Comes over this side for John Gardner. Joe Canning puts the pressure on. David Burke leaves it for Canning. Oh, beautiful, lovely little hand pass. David Burke puts it over the bar. The score of the day. Truly magnificent. Just watch this in slow motion. The vision of Canning The hand pass to Burke. Watch this. Oh, fantastic play by Galway. Brilliant play by Joe Canning. Just a pleasure to be here to see that. And remember, Galway are doing this to Cork. Line ball to Galway. Donald Barry. Not a great one. Picked up this time by Larkin McLaughlin. Tony O'Gregan. In the middle, Cyril Donlan. Not a good pass by Cyril on this occasion. Bill Cooper. Well won by Paddy O'Sullivan. Gets away from the initial challenge. Thought about laying it off first, Conor Lahan. This is Lahan under pressure from Shane Kavanagh. Lahan is fouled, free in for Cork. It was worth any price to come into this match to see this. Patrick Horgan drives it in. Skehill saves it. Paddy O'Sullivan comes back off a Hurley, I think, and Galway come away with it. Good play by Damien Joyce to come away with it. And Galway doing everything right. Barry Daly gives it out to the wing, and that ball is wide. 2 minutes of additional time to be added on. This is the effort by Pat Horgan. He went for the goal. Great save by Skehill. Comes back outside to O'Sullivan, and it seemed to take off the helmet of Shane Kavanagh. Ball comes out past David Burke, and this is going across the face of the goalpost, and that is Galway's 16th wide of the match. Two minutes of additional time in Park na Gael, and here comes Carl Naughton, fires it in, well stopped by James Skehill, who has more than made up for that early error after 14 seconds, which resulted in Paddy O'Sullivan's goal. And the way Carl Naughton is going for the slither, you know that Cork are out of the championship. Good stop by the Galway keeper. Ben O'Connor lobbing this in. Paddy O'Sullivan goes up for it. Gathered by Donald Barry. Referee blows the full-time whistle. And Cork are out of the championship, and Galway are in the All-Ireland quarter-final after a very impressive second half, led by a man that they call Joe Canning, who wore 14 this afternoon. He scored 10 points. The flick-off for David Burke's point, one of the highlights for me. It was worth the admission price just to see a real maestro at work. He scored 1-9 against Clare, 10 points against Cork. Joe Connolly commiserates with Dennis Walsh.
After the beating that we've got today, there certainly would be a mood amongst maybe critics, supporters, players, county board maybe, and the committee that appointed me, and they might be a mood to move on, that it would be in their better interest for me to move on. And if that's it, I have absolutely no problem. I have served my time for this county on and off the field, both in hurling and football, and I won't be backing down from anyone.
Confidence comes with winning. You have to be in that winning groove. Look, Tipperary came through the back door last year, and it's a real kind of a stepping stone for us. I don't know if we had gotten over Dublin, would we have put in a performance against Kilkenny to beat them? So we're after coming in the back door now, and I think we have to drive on from here.
We dug our hole for ourselves early on. We conceded a very soft goal. We were 6 points down, playing with the wind. And if ever a Galway team got an opportunity to lie down and roll over, this afternoon was that occasion. But the players hung in there, dug deep and laid their bodies on the line, and it was a fantastic victory for Galway tonight.
Yeah, big win for Galway. John, Cyril Farrell said here last week that the win over Clare would give Galway momentum and confidence that they would beat Cork and that they would grow, and they're hitting form at the right time.
True, I'd agree with that. And I mean, you know, they had one bad blip and that was against Dublin. But, you know, they started their campaign with Westmeath and they scored 4 goals in that. And, you know, they worked along, they've been getting goals, and 8
Hurling qualifier brought Limerick and Antrim to Parnell Park. Place in the quarter-final for the winners, and reporting on this one is Hugh Cahill.
The scoreboard will suggest Limerick were never in trouble against Antrim and Parnell Park on Saturday night, but this third-round qualifier hinged on the referee's red card late in the first half. Limerick's insistence on short ball passing was leaving them exposed at the back. Antrim captain Eddie McCluskey took full advantage with a well-taken score. Donald Grady's tactics meant Limerick persisted with those close-range passes, but Antrim seemed willing and able to disrupt their opponent's game plan. Neil McManus once again capitalising with a point from play. A really cool strike and straight over the bar. Well, referees have continued to create headlines in the championship this season, and James Owens had a crucial role in this match. Carl Stewart's moment of madness after a clash with Brian Geary saw the half-forward given a straight red card. The replay clearly shows him lashing out with the foot, and Owens had no real option but to send him off. Limerick wasted no time in making the extra man count, and a brilliant pass from Declan Hannon into the path of Niall Moran was only going to end up one way. A well taken goal, and Limerick in control at the break. Antrim pushed hard to try and get back into the match after the restart, but Limerick were in no mood to let up. Simon McGrory was dispossessed in a dangerous position, and sub David Breen smashed home a second goal for a 6-point cushion. That effectively ended the game as a contest. Antrim were out on their feet, and a third goal from Richie McCarthy gave the Limerick fans plenty to cheer about and a comfortable gap in the closing minutes. Well, by this stage, Antrim fans were already heading for the exit gates. There was still time, though, for Limerick's score of the match, and a brilliant piece of skill, too, from Declan Hannon, creating the space for the shot, and that was the nail in the Antrim coffin. So a disappointing result for Ginny Cahill's side. Limerick safely through to the next round on 322 to 12 points.
We were disappointed with the result, really. The scoreline wasn't a true reflection on the Antrim's performance after losing the player and the game that Limerick play in particular, that extra man and that hand passing that sort of suited them. But that said, we're still proud of our players. They fought very hard the first half and took the game to Limerick, and maybe were a bit unlucky at times as well early on in the game.
I think the sending off is justifiable, and but it changed the game for us. It took the pressure off us, and it looked as if we were going to be in for a real tough, hard battle, and that would be 2 or 3 minutes to go. You were maybe a point or 2 up. I don't think we would have lost the game, to be honest, but I don't think we'd have won it as comfortably as we did. But as I said, the sending off was tantamount to handing the game to us, really, because. But it's a lesson, I suppose. You need discipline at the top level, and we profited, basically from that tonight. But it had a huge bearing in the game.